Jill, did anyone tell you it's rude to be so disgustingly happy this early in the morning? Okay, this is Eyewitness Day. I hope everybody's wide awake, feeling like Jill this morning, because it's going to be a really fun day, I think. I'd like to start off this morning by introducing the Eyewitness team. So if I could have the sales and technical people and also Dana come up to the front of the room. I want to introduce you to everybody. And where's Jeff Murray? You get up here too. Yeah. Yeah, well, we're missing a couple of techies too, so that's their problem. Why you? Because you haven't been here before. Okay, now. Okay, we could do it. Steve, you come over here. Well, no, you go over there, Jeff. Okay, I'll start from that end. Okay, I'm going to start on the far left with Jeff Murray. He is truly part of the Eyewitness team. I mentioned it the other day, but Eyewitness truly is an international product. A little bit of history behind how we developed Eyewitness. With the success of the monitor, Jeff in particular has a very small territory, and he was worried about running out of sites to sell to, so he was pushing us from the very beginning to get a second product out in the market. And one day he called us and said, hey, there's this guy here in South Africa who's written some software, and maybe you could take it and market it as a product. And we said, well, we're not real interested in that, but what the heck, we'll talk to the guy. So we talked to the guy who happened to be Steve Barnes and found out that he had some really good ideas. Number one, he was a monitor customer. He'd had the good sense to buy the monitor and told us, some of his insights into the monitor versus a Megamon, and he was right on the money. Told us about some of the ideas and some of the software he had written at Standard Bank, and we knew that we had gotten a hold of the kind of person capable of coming and developing a product. So with Jeff's help, we were able to convince Steve to come over for an interview, which he did, and despite having a lot of problems getting him a visa, his wife and Steve hung in there. They sold their house, and then there was some question of whether they could even get a visa to come over here after their house was sold. But fortunately, they hung in through thick and thin, and they were able to come over just about a year and a half ago. So first member of the Eyewitness team is Jeff Murray, and we owe him, a big debt for helping us and for pushing us into getting the thing going in the first place. Next is okay. Now for the rest of them. Next is Steve Barnes, and of course he is a native Australian. Spent 15 years in South Africa, worked for a long time at Standard Bank and a couple of other sites in South Africa. Standard Bank is one of the largest CICS sites in the world. They had, zillions of regions and millions of transactions and lots of hardware and lots of software. One of those, typical large sites. Guys from Hersley used to come over there to learn about CICS from Steve and his co-workers. So Steve also has a lot of talents, not only in the technical area, but a lot of insight into marketing and putting together presentations and that sort of thing. So he's sort of an all-around player, and he is now the product director of Eyewitness, and he and his co-worker, Paul Malkaby, who many of you also know, were the primary developers of the Eyewitness product. So that's Steve Barnes. Next, we have our newest Eyewitness technician. He has been with us for all of, I guess this is your third week, Robert? Yeah, he's been 3 weeks almost. This is Robert Rabb, who will be working in Eyewitness support. Right now, he's in the midst of his training, but he's coming along very nicely. Next to him is Jean Isberg. Now, Jean has been with Landmark since August of 1985. She began as a sales rep selling the monitor. Prior to that, she was involved with another software company in software sales. Jean was very successful as a team-on sales rep. She was one of the first and one of the most successful, so we soon promoted her to the position of sales manager. For the last 2 years, Jean has been the manager of the leading team-on sales team in the U.S., the Bucks. She has beaten fierce competition from not only Mr. Moore, but also from Mr. Mazer. So she has taken the risk and left a secure position as a monitor sales rep to go with the new product Eyewitness. So we're sure she'll be successful in that role. Next to Jean is Susan Maher, who many of you also know, has been involved heavily in international technical support for the monitor, is now with Eyewitness as the manager of customer support. She's been with Landmark since 1985 for about 2.5 years, and also has an extensive background in CICS. Next is Tim Gertis, who is the first sales rep for Eyewitness. Tim was a very successful sales rep for the Monitor. Last year, he was one of our $6 million sales reps. He also has left the secure position. It was, nothing to repeating again as a $1 million rep with the Monitor. We all knew he would do that. But he has taken a chance and has decided that he's going to be the first $1 million rep with Eyewitness. Tim has been with Landmark also since 1985. In fact, he joined the same month as Susan. And finally is, on the end, Dana Squire. She's a member of marketing. I want to emphasize that marketing is very much a part of the product team. I'm not introducing each of them individually because you've already met most of them over the past couple of days. Dana works for Elise Camozo, who's the manager of publications, and Dana was the primary person responsible for putting together the Eyewitness Manual. And I think if you haven't seen it already, when you do see it, you will recognize the spectacular effort that she made in putting together the thing. It was really a very easy process. I mean, there was nothing to it. She just got the information from Steve, threw it on a word processor, and printed it out. But nevertheless, she should get a lot of credit for it. Right, Dana? So anyway, these are the experts on Eyewitness, so if you should have any questions during the day, you know what their roles are, and you can ask them questions about their own area of expertise.